Greetings and welcome to True Life Experiences streaming live on Steetz989 Atlanta TV with Dr. Jazzy, the number one show streaming and sharing the lives of extraordinary leaders through true life experiences. Tonight, we welcome the life and career of a community transformer, activist, ally, wisdom counsel, a Morehouse man, author R.O.B.E. Let's bring him to the studio. Let's welcome him to our broadcast tonight.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good to be here. Thank you, Dr.
Awesome.
Jazz. It's great to
How
see you.
are you? How are you, my homie? How are you doing, sir?
I am good and getting better.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing in the community. Let's get started. Share with the audience a little bit more about who you are and your work that you're doing as executive director at Reaching Our Brothers Everywhere, Rose.
I sure will. Well, my name is Carl Root. Growing up in Albany, Georgia, we all had nicknames back in the day, as Dr. Jazz knows. Mine was Skip, and grew up in an area called Carver Park of Albany, Georgia. But grew up during a time where there wasn't a whole lot of resources for especially black boys, black men and boys. So it left something of a wound in my heart. So when I got older, I said, if I ever get an opportunity to do something for men and boys, I'm going to do that. So today I've had an opportunity to do that because of life experiences. You know, when I was coming up, we tried a lot of different things. Wasn't always legal, but ended up, getting some justice involvement and seeing a lot of young men doing the same thing as I had done. So I said, wow, I want to help. So I became a community activist. And when I was doing responsible boyhood, manhood, and fatherhood work, I met a young man whose mother had founded an organization called ROSE, ROSE, Reaching Our Sisters Everywhere. And when he approached me and said, our organization is for men, it's called ROBE, Reaching Our Brothers Everywhere, I was all in. I was like, yes, just the name itself, drew me in. So I've been around there since 2019, but have been doing this work, responsible boyhood, manhood, and fatherhood work for over 30 years. That's a little bit about my background. Should I continue?
I don't know why it keeps sticking, Carl. For some reason, it continues to stick. We're going to keep going, though. Continue to tell us about your organization and Rose as well.
Okay. Well, ROBE, Reaching Our Sisters Everywhere, founded ROBE, Reaching Our Brothers Everywhere. We are the male component of that organization. Now, the organization's mission is to create equity in the healthcare circles, especially dealing with pregnant women. So our whole approach has been our mission to educate, equip, and empower men to impact an increase in breastfeeding rates and a decrease in infant mortality rates.
So let me ask you this. Now, this is a fatherhood organization impacting children, as you said, with different type of programs. Share with us a little bit more about what you're doing in the community currently. I know we just had a back to school event to inspire our hometown Carver Park area, which was very, very rewarding, I think, for each of us. So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing in the community.
Well, thank you so much for that, Jazz. And thank you for being a part of that event in Albany. It was really, really great, very successful. I today, as a community activist, I deal with, because a lot of our men are justice involved, because a lot of our women are teen mothers. I don't know if you know, but we have the highest maternal mortality rate, we're number 3 in the country, where our mothers die at higher rates than other communities. And also infant mortality rates are also very high. So as I was doing responsible fatherhood work, I began to engage with men to talk to them about the benefits of breastfeeding, to talk to them about reproductive rights and things that men don't normally discuss. I went to Morehouse School of Medicine on a scholarship with they had what is called Community Health Leadership Program. And
Mm-hmm.
it gave community activists and scholars and academia an opportunity to come together to address some need in the community. And that was the one that we sought to address, getting men in the know about maternal and child health related issues, also more intimate details about women, reproductive rights and things associated with that. I went ahead and became a certified lactation counselor. And I could teach men about breastfeeding. I can even teach a woman how to breastfeed. I'm also a perinatal patient navigator, which I can help a man. I can walk him through the whole process from his birthing plan all the way to delivery. And this has proven to be a great service in the ecosystem where I serve. So I'm excited. Of course, it morphed over. I've always wanted to do something for my hometown of Albany, Georgia. Yeah, Albany, y'all, not Albany.
It's
But
Albany.
I've always wanted to do something. I grew up there, 12 years old. I got my first job as a lifeguard assistant, $25 every 2 weeks. But hey, I learned how to swim. Even with that, those skills took me very, very far. We had a teen center in the area where we played ping pong and shot pool,
Yes.
and I swam in the summertime. We had a 9 to 12 swim lesson period, where all the kids in the community got to swim for free and learn how to swim. And then at 12, we would get what we call belly bowls. These were bag lunches where they actually fed us. And the pool would open again for free swim from 1 to 6. I was
Yes.
there all day, y'all.
And I think that Carl, I salute you for everything that you did to inspire us to do positive things during the summertime and not always just hanging out, not doing anything. Those skills that you gave us really it helped us now as adults. You just don't know what an inspiration you were and how we idolize you because you were one of the best swimmers at Carver Park. I will say that forever. And I'm glad that I had an opportunity to work under you. Now, share with me a little bit more about what do you mean when you say wisdom counsel?
Yeah, well, there was a young man when he started his mother's organization. He's an attorney. He is not a father or dad or anything. He came to a conference that I was presenting at, and this was a corrections conference. And after the conference, he said, "Sir, could you please come to one of our staff meetings?" And this was the Reaching Our Brothers Everywhere. So I went to the meeting, and the rest is history. We began to collaborate on ways that we could help more organizations, especially male serving organizations, to get involved with what we were doing. So what we decided to do was create a wisdom council. We represent men in 8 southeastern states, the formerly largest slaveholding states: Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Anyway, we work in 8 southeastern states. So what we decided to do, I don't know much about Mississippi. I don't know much about South Carolina, North Carolina, but I know Georgia. So we appointed representatives from each of those states in the Southeast, and we called them a wisdom council because they know more about their area than we do. So we come together and we got a platform where we train people in their areas to be community transformers. And in that way, every person is working in their own communities because they know what their communities need. So we just train them in the concepts that can help anyone and then allow them to go back to their own communities and create their own wisdom council and community transformers. It's
Awesome.
great. It's been great work.
Awesome. Well, you also are working on a series, Dear Black Man. Now, is this going to be debuting in 2026? Is this something that is up and coming, or is this something that is currently live and available?
There is a young lady who, by the name of Lise Humans, she has an organization called A Change Gon' Come. And she started this series called We Are Still Kings with Black men. And it will be a series that runs through next year. But she brings in a panel of Black men to talk about, oh my God, we have fearless dialogue around community related issues that we're seeking to solve. It's all about resolving a lot of the long standing issues that we've had to face.
Awesome, awesome. Now, you're also had an opportunity to appear on Oprah show. Share with us a little bit about that experience.
That was absolutely incredible. At that time, I was working with a program of teen dads. These are young men who have a child or a
Mhm.
child on the way, 13 to 19 years old. Now, Oprah had been running a teen mother show, and nobody believed that there was such a thing as a teen dad show. So they found out about us here in Atlanta
Mhm.
because Oprah Winfrey was doing a segment with Lisa Ling called The Incarceration Generation. And it just so happened that I had a son who was incarcerated. And when I was a young man, I got incarcerated as well. So they wanted to interview us. And my son was really doing some great things in transitioning from the prison system that Oprah said, hey, I think that we want to air this. So they did air it back in 2011. But it was an incredible experience because I got so much exposure in the work that I do because I work with a lot of justice involved youth. So
Mhm.
it gave me some street credibility as well as, young guys. They like those OGs or somebody that's in the limelight. Okay. So it took my work to an entirely different level. But yeah, I got a chance to appear on Oprah and Lisa Ling.
That's amazing. Well, I wish you continued success, and I will definitely stay up on this development. We are kings. We are still kings.
Yes.
I think that's going to be amazing. Now, let's move into your books that you have published because I am really intrigued by this Born Captive but Made Free.
I love it. I love it. It took me a while to come up with the title. I had written the book many years
Hmm.
before I was able to come up with the title because this is my life. This is what I'm living. I wanted to be certain, and I had to avoid using names of other people, and at the same time tell my story because there were so many people involved in my story. But yes, born captive, made free. And I say that, Dr. Jazz, because we're born captive. We don't get to choose our parents. We don't get to choose our family, our siblings. We're just born into that family. And I don't
Right.
know if you play spades, but sometimes when you play spades, you get a real bad hand. But if you're a good sport, you play that hand. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. You play the hand that you're dealt. So being born into a family that I wasn't always necessarily pleased with or felt proud of, I still had to endure whatever came with it. If I had a brother who was a bank robber or my
Yeah.
mom was an alcoholic, I had to deal with that. So it's really a message to those like myself because some people just give up. This is just my life and it's just going to be my life. No, you were born into a situation, but once you begin to experience life yourself, you get an opportunities to make yourself free. Are you feeling me? The more you learn, you could be held captive for only so long. Somebody can lock you up, but in the mind, if your mind is free, you can never be held captive again. And that's where the mind gets free. That's what that book is all about. Freeing your mind, because a lot of us are prisoners in our minds. But I was born captain, and I'm made free through my journey through life, Dr.
Right.
Jazz. And I've
Right.
learned some answers to the hard questions. That's what
Yeah,
that's
it's definitely it's an amazing journey. But you always got to make sure that you continue to look at the positive things, just like you just said, Carl. Also you publish Boy, Man, and Father. Share with us a little bit more about that experience.
Yes, now that came after born Captain Made Free. My name is Carl Lewis Root Jr. I was named and branded by a man. He and my mom divorced when I was 8 months old. I didn't see him again, but I got his brand. So what I began to look at was I asked my mom, I said, Mom, not many years ago, I said, Mom, what kind of man was my daddy? She said, I don't know, but he wasn't a family man. I said, okay. So I said, I need to know something about him. She said, I don't know anything about him. He went in the military when he was just a young man, 16 years old. So as I thought about my journey, because I missed him, I wanted him in my
Hmm.
life. Everybody wants their own daddy. And I had a stepdaddy at that time, but I wanted the man after whom I was named. Anyway, didn't get that. But I decided that, wow, there's levels to this thing. Because a boy, okay, you start out a boy, and boys have to be taken care of. Men should be able to take care of themselves. Operative word, should be able to take care of themselves, because I know a lot of men that don't. And then, of course, a father should not only be able to take care of himself, but others as well, say his children and his family. So I began to write Boy, Man, Father. There's levels to it, and it just became it became an essay, and then it turned into a book. And I'm gonna tell you something, Dr. Jazz. I again was just as involved. I spent some time locked up,
Hmm.
and I used to like to read. I said, if I ever get an opportunity to write a book, I'll write a book that's small enough for men in jail to read and not lose interest. And that's what those books are.
Awesome. I think that's amazing that you are able to reflect on your life experiences and continue to do the work and serve the community like you do. You also have contributed to some of the health journals. What was that about? How did you get that opportunity?
Well, I tell you, being in the Morehouse circle, we belong to a group called Fathers Matter ATL. And
Hmm.
there's a group of women in there called Women in Fatherhood. And they came to me, approached me one day, one of the professors from Pennsylvania said, Pittsburgh said, Mr. Root, would you be willing to contribute a chapter to our textbook on Black fatherhood? And with me not being, a PhD or anything like that, I felt a little, what should I say, intimidated or inadequate. But there were this group of PhDs asking me to actually do that. So I got an opportunity to do it, read the chapter, and it amazed even me. It was really
Awesome.
incredible. So I just thank the creator for that opportunity.
Awesome. Carl, when you look back over your life, are there any life experiences that you would like to share with the audience this evening?
Yes, first, Jazz, I'd like to thank you. And to add to that, you weren't a bad swimmer yourself. As I've been engaging with you more and more, I remember you succinctly. And I said, oh, that's who that is. That's who that is, And listen, thank you for what you're doing to serve the community, because
Yes.
this platform gives me an opportunity to reach a lot of different people. And I'd just like to say thank you for that. But what I'd like to leave with the audience, a takeaway: don't make a temporary situation permanent. Okay. And I used to tell young men this all the time, because they think they're going to be trapping drugs and gang banging and doing all that crazy stuff. If they live long enough, a change will come.
Amen.
Embrace the change.
It doesn't even matter how you feel about it.
That's right.
Yesterday this guy was saying Denzel Washington is getting old, and one of the comments were you either get old or you pass away.
It's the alternative.
That's life. But you're supposed to enjoy that. It all transitions, and
That's
I
right.
think that's what a lot of us get too wrapped up into, the outer appearance in life and not really focus on our inner spirit. But Carl, I thank you so much for taking an opportunity to share with the audience tonight a little bit more about who you are and what you're doing at Reaching Our Brothers Everywhere. I know that is a phenomenal organization. I've heard so much about it. Talked to a couple of men that were actually aware of that organization. So you guys are definitely what they say, got the boots on the ground.
That's right. That's right. Where them fans at?
All right, Carl, well, we thank you so much. Did you want to share a little bit about how you got the back to school event organized, or what we're looking forward to for next year, or anything you want to put out to the audience in order to get involved?
Yes, please let me share briefly. We call ourselves the Friends of Doc Driscoll Community Center and Park, formerly known as Carver Park. But we are a group right now of about more than a little bit over 20 people that held a back to school bash, the first annual back to school bash at Charles Driscoll Park. But what we did was we handed out back to school supplies and backpacks. Next year, we want to do something more substantive. We want to sit down with the youth and have a panel discussion to allow them to talk about what life is like for them now in the area. And then, of course, we're going to share with them what life was like for us in the area. Just have an intergenerational exchange and to see how we can better serve them, how we can better serve our youth, because a lot of our parents don't necessarily have everything that they need to serve their children adequately. So we want to come alongside. Next year, we'll be back next year around the same time, and we're going to have an impactful event. So you can get involved. If you would like to, just reach out to Carl Root at ymail.com. That's Root spelled like route, ROUTE at ymail.com. And we can get
Okay, now
involved. We're going to
there
start
we
having
go.
meetings
There we
on
go.
Tuesday.
There we go. That was one of
That,
our pictures that
that
we
was
took
good. That was good. I
during
like
the
that.
event. Yeah, I was so excited to be a part of that, and I look forward to working with everyone again next year. We're going to do something a little different. We're actually going to do a live broadcast, and hopefully we'll get a few people that want to share some stories about what they foresee for the next school year. You never know. Some people want to get on and share, so we might be able to do that. But Carl, again, thank you so much for sharing tonight. I'm going to say goodbye for now, but not forever. And I was so happy to reconnect with you and with all of my colleagues at home. So thank you so much.
Amen. Feelings is mutual. Thank you, Jazz.
Awesome. Well, have a good night, and I will be back in touch. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Bye
Good
bye
night.
now. All right, guys, that was Carl Root, as you heard. He stopped by to share a little bit about who he is, what he's doing at the R.O.B.E, and hey, what he's doing as a community transformer, a wisdom counsel, author, advocate, ally. He is an amazing guy. Guys, make sure that you check him out. I'm your host, the First Lady, Dr. Jazzy, Streets 989 Atlanta, true life experiences, sharing the lives of extraordinary leaders, entertainers, and community advocates. Lock us in, keep us there, baby. We're going to be doing some amazing things coming up. I'm going to say good night for now. One love, and keep God first in your life. Amen.